the audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off, or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to the On Seagal podcast, where we cover everything Steven Seagal from ponytail to toe. I am Trevor Gumbel, and with me, as always, is my co-host.
Hello, Trevor. This is the second time I have to talk about this movie on a recording, and,
What's your name?
What's your name there, bud? If you're listening to this show, you know who I am. It's me.
It's Chris Stachiw.
It's Chris Stachiw. God. We're here, aren't we? We're here to talk about a movie that Trevor had never seen before.
No, I haven't.
But Steven Seagal directed it.
Yes, he did. He directed. Oh, he sure directed, and you can fucking tell he directed this.
Yeah, so on this episode of the On Seagal podcast, we are going to be taking a look at 1994's self-directed Steven Seagal magnum opus on environmental destruction on deadly ground.
Yes.
In this land of frozen beauty, where a proud people make their home, Aegis Oil is making a killing.
The people here want to talk about the poisons in their environment.
If Aegis 1 is not online and operational in 13 days, then the oil rights will revert back to the Eskimos, and that is not going to happen.
We're talking!
But there is hope. And now, he's here. Steven Seagal is on deadly ground.
You're an oil man.
But I put out the fires. I stop spills. We are being lied to by some of the most sophisticated people on Earth.
I know we've had our disagreements.
How much money is enough?
I don't need that kind of problem right now.
Get rid of the problem.
You mean mercenaries?
Now this land has a friend.
In you, I've seen a great spirit.
These people have a warrior.
Did you beat up on this little native man?
And this corporation
Find me a body or find me the man.
has a big problem.
And who the hell is this guy?
Sensei Abby's company.
Company?
CIA.
Whatever he is, he's a damn problem.
Seagal.
Time to move out.
Michael Caine.
He'd need a miracle to stop us now.
Just gonna reach out and touch somebody here.
On deadly ground.
So the film is directed by Steven Seagal. It's written by Ed Horowitz and Robin U. Russin. And it stars, well, who does it star? It stars Steven Seagal, of course. And it stars a bunch of other great character actors. Michael Caine, Joan Chen, John C. McGinley, Arlie Ermey, Billy Bob Thornton. Sven Ole Thornson is in there as well. Mike Starr. There's a lot of really good Richard Hamilton. Great character actors.
There's a lot of those actors where you're like, hey, I've seen that guy somewhere.
There's a lot of that guys. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Joan Chen, did you mention?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great. She's great too.
Yeah.
And Seagal in this movie plays Forrest Taft, a firefighter and blowout specialist who works for Aegis Oil, a oil company that is going to be building an oil rig in Alaska to take advantage of the oil that's in Alaska. And they're building it with they're building this new oil rig Aegis 1 with substandard parts, and Forrest finds out, and they try to kill him because of it.
Yep. 1994 was a hell of a year for the name Forrest.
Boy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Only, this Forrest wasn't as prominent.
So Trevor, let's get right to it.
Okay.
You had never seen On Deadly Ground before. I've seen it.
I had not.
A handful of times now.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of sitting down to catch On Deadly Ground?
This movie was fascinating in its absolute self-righteousness, self-aggrandizing, self-praising. This was Steven Seagal at his masturbatory goodness best. It is not written by Seagal, but when I was watching it, I could have sworn it had been written by Seagal, because he is portrayed as like this saint-like figure that's supposed to save this Native American land against this evil corporation headed by Michael Caine in a very, very bad dye job. I could have sworn the shit was going to just run down his face like Rudy Giuliani at a press conference. I was shocked to see Michael Caine in this.
Well, and to your point, Trevor, the weird thing about this movie is for a movie not written by Seagal, it really does feel like it.
Yeah, because every moment of it, Seagal is never criticized. He is only lifted up as this Zen-like saint who is like the savior of mankind. But he doesn't start out that way. He starts out as working for the Aegis Corporation, who blows up one of the things at the beginning because the pump wasn't working or something like that.
Yeah, well, they're using these they're covering up the fact they're using substandard parts in their oil rigs.
Yes, and Michael Caine wants to keep using them because he wants to get this contract and keep the land, because if he didn't drill in time, the land would go back to the tribe, and he didn't want that.
If Aegis 1 doesn't get opened on a certain day, the oil rights revert to the original owners, who were the natives.
Yes. So Steven Seagal finds out about this. Actually, no. Let's go to earlier in the film. Should we talk about the bar scene?
There's a lot to talk about with this movie.
Yeah.
There is a lot. This is a 2.5 hour movie, and there are some scenes in this movie that stick out as kind of the big ones.
Yeah, I mean,
this is one of them.
The bar scene?
Yeah.
Because if you're Steven Seagal and there's a bar in your film, you know what's going to happen. It's not going to be just a drink. It's going to be a fight. And he gets in a fight with Mike Starr because he starts berating and abusing this Native American who's, I think, drunk.
Yeah.
So he starts
he was taunting him with alcohol. So.
Taunting him. I think he tripped him or something. So Steven Seagal sees this and decides he's not going to stand for that. He just, he challenges Mike Starr to the grade school slap my hand before I can slap yours. Slap fight. And, if Seagal misses, Mike Starr gets to punch him. If Mike Starr misses, Seagal gets to punch him. And you know how it's going to go. Mike Starr's not going to get any hits on him. Steven Seagal just kicks the shit out of him. And at the end, Chris, what does Steven Seagal say to him?
What does it take to change a man?
What does it take to change a man? And something like that.
Time. I need time.
Yeah, he starts tearing up. He goes, time. And Seagal walks away, pats him on the shoulder, and just walks up. And he takes the Native American, drunk Native American, takes him home, I think.
You will be going on a spirit quest. It's like very weird, like 80-yard line as they're leaving the bar. It's like, you will be going on a quest soon, my friend. Like, what the fuck?
This movie is awkward as hell.
Well, the thing that cracks me up about this bar scene is contrast this bar scene with, was it 2 movies ago?
Yeah.
In Out for Justice.
Where he's looking for Richie!
Beating the shit.
Yeah, out of
He's
everyone.
beating the shit out of everybody in the bar. And in this movie, he beats up one guy, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think they're trying to portray him as a peaceful man who only resorts to violence as a last resort. Like I said, a Zen-like, almost Buddhist type of character.
It's very Eastern religion. Like, I mean, they do it with the native characters where it's like native spiritualism and, the bison spirit and all that shit. Like,
philosophy-wise, this movie is all over the place.
It's junk philosophy.
It's pseudo
philosophy. It's Western.
It's pseudo-hip philosophy that bros will watch and think it's deep.
This was the thing at the time. I mean, the X-Files is guilty of doing this too. It's very surface level interpretation, very just whitewashed interpretation of this. And look, that's Steven Seagal is a Caucasian man. Attempting to interpret indigenous cultures through his Steven Seagal lens. Like, that's the way it is. I mean,
and it's disingenuous as fuck.
It feels very disingenuous.
Yeah, it's just...
But I don't think there's any way that it wouldn't feel disingenuous, Trevor. Like, that's the problem. Steven Seagal, I genuinely believe that Steven Seagal cares about these things, but then I have a hard time reconciling that with the fact that he is now someone who hangs out with Russia and a country that doesn't care about a lot of the things that I was being led to believe Steven Seagal cared about because he verbally said as much. But I don't know. It's weird because this movie has a very hardcore environmental message of like, taking the environment seriously. We need to be taking care of the environment. The environment is the only one that we've got. All good things that I agree with. Mm-hmm. And now Steven Seagal doesn't believe in any of that, apparently. And this movie feels even more disingenuous than it may have to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like Seagal was maybe at the time believed it, but has since been more corrupted, I guess you could say. It's for lack of a better term.
Well, it makes me wonder if he ever genuinely believed it to begin with, or if it was all just an act.
Well, I mean, look at the films he's done lately. Like we talked about, what was that? What was that film where he played a doctor?
A doctor?
Well, where he lived in... No, he lived in China. Attrition. In that film, he's very Buddhist, very centered. He's like the Seagal in this film.
Yeah.
And that was more recent.
And that's the character that he's going to end up playing in The Glimmer Man, too.
Yeah,
it's weird. I don't understand his career in a lot of ways because it seems to oscillate between the violent guy and then the peaceful Buddhist guy.
Well, like I said, his character in Attrition, that was a more recent film, and that was after he met Putin. So is he like
virtue signaling?
Yeah, pulling our dicks about this thing?
I don't know. That's what again, me sitting here now looking at this film that he made in 94, which again, this message in 94 in a big budget movie like this is it's pretty big visibility for an environmental message. But
it's not really
17 years later, it doesn't ring very true. It's very hollow.
But even in 94, the message wasn't executed very well, and it just went one at the other.
Well, it's also very surface level. It's poorly executed. It's essentially tacked on to the end of the movie. Not essentially tacked on. It's completely tacked on to the end of the movie. So,
considering how much shit he blows up on the oil refinery and the tankers and shit, you wouldn't know he was an environmentalist because think of all the fumes he's letting into the air, polluting.
I mean, that is the funny thing about it is what he is doing is
probably far worse than what would have happened.
He's destroying the environment. I mean, at the end of the movie, he destroys the Aegis 1 oil rig, and in doing so, God knows what he does to the environment in the surrounding areas.
You see a big cloud of black smoke, and you're like, wow, that's going to kill a lot of birds and probably affect the sea life. So, yeah, good job, Seagal. You just fucked us. But anyway, before that, Seagal meets with his friend, a co-worker played by Richard Hamilton, who was probably best known for playing D in Men in Black, the first one.
Yep.
Who Will Smith replaces as Tommy Lee Jones's partner. He alerts Seagal of the substandard pieces, the parts, because he got into the Aegis's computer network and saved a file proving that they're using substandard parts for their tankers and their oil refineries.
Knowingly using substandard parts.
Because it shows that every test that the part is put through has failed. Only like a couple, I think, passed. Most of them failed. So Michael Caine finds out about this, sends John C. McGinley and Sven Ole Thorsen to his house to basically just kick his ass and kill him. Can we talk about John C. McGinley's performance?
Something, isn't it?
It is something. He plays a very...
It's a coded gay character in a way.
A very coded gay character, very effeminate, very kind of over the top, and it's kind of enjoyable to watch him in this performance. It's an enjoyable performance to watch because I love John C. McGinley in anything, because he's a wonderful actor and he's more than just Dr. Cox on Scrubs to me. And Sven Ole Thorsen, who was LaFours in Mallrats.
I was about to say, who has been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, but I only... I feel bad that I only know him from Mallrats.
Yeah, but he's one of those. I mean, he's one of those actors that's been in a ton of things because he's a stuntman. So he was in Terminator 2. He was in Ghostbusters 2. He was in End of Days. He's been in Batman and Robin. Like, he's been in a ton of stuff. He's very recognizable. But yeah, the thing that similarly to yourself that I know him from is LaFours from I Heard Even Got 2 Kills.
That was what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I know him from.
450 callers, all convicted. Irish even got 2 kills.
Yeah. He's great. I mean, they're great, and they're great heavies. I mean,
yeah.
He has a intimidating, screen look.
That's what they hire him for.
And John C. McGinley needs someone that isn't
him.
Yeah, exactly. Someone that isn't a scrawny little, because I mean, he's kind of scrawny in this movie.
Well, I mean, he mostly played when they go to his house. He's mostly playing the intimidator, but not the assaulter.
Right.
He's mostly playing like, where's the disc? Tell me where the disc is, and just throwing shit around trying to find the disc in his house. What I think is funny is they don't look in the most obvious fucking place they could have looked, which is where it was, in that closet in the backpack. And they don't search the backpack. I'm sorry, these are the dumbest heavies in the history of Hollywood.
Well, I mean, these are the same guys that end up running into tripwire in the woods and getting themselves blown up, so.
Well, I mean...
Or shooting just wildly into the trees, Predator style.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean...
Yeah. Stop shooting! What are you shooting at? Like, oh my god. Yeah, it goes to show, like, the John C. McGinley character is, like, woefully out of his depth.
Exactly. He plays it well. He plays it like he's... He's almost playing it like he was the... I forgot the name of the hacker in Die Hard. The one who doesn't do any physical...
Sure.
activity.
He's playing it very Eric Bogosian in Under Siege 2. He's not the intimidating character.
No, he's not.
He's the brains, not the brawn.
He tries hard to be a threatening character, but he just comes off kind of silly.
Ends up killing Joan Chen's father in the process.
Oh, yeah, and tries to claim
he
was coming at me. He was coming at me.
The whole Vision Quest thing at the Native American tribal camp is so ham-fisted and unnecessary. And
I think it would. If I was a Native American, I'd be offended by the portrayal.
It's so surface level. Like, are you going to take the elderly grandma or the naked seductress? Like,
well, like you said, it's pseudo Native American philosophy, spiritualism, bullshit.
Pretty much.
And they do the bare minimum of, I think at least, they did the bare minimum of research into Native American spiritualism.
I'm not sure they did any research. Let's not give them even credit for that.
Okay, well, they did little research and just wrote down whatever they saw in like a movie back in the 50s.
That's fair.
Or they probably just watched the movie Vision Quest and wrote from there.
And then you have Arlie Ermey is in this movie.
Oh, God.
I mean, he's great, but
he's always great.
Underutilized.
He's very underutilized. I mean, his character gets killed off so so like underwhelmingly so anticlimactic. They make it seem like...
Do we expect anything else at this point? Like,
no, because they build him up as like this Navy SEAL.
He's a mercenary.
Mercenary who can just hunt anything. But when he gets to Seagal just fucking shoots him, and that was it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna blow your head off, and then he just grabs a shotgun and goes, no, and just turns it on him. Like,
well, I guess that can be said for a lot of the fight scenes of the film. They're very anticlimactic.
There is no good action in this movie. Like, that's
because we mentioned before, nothing can hurt Steven Seagal in a Steven Seagal film.
And this may be like the biggest offender that we've seen.
Yeah, not one scratch goes on him. Not one.
Nope.
He's
never really in danger. Like, even when he's taken to that kind of oil, that oil pump to check what's going on, and it's obviously a trap. They're trying to blow him up. Like, even then, I'm not sitting there thinking to myself, like, oh, they got him this time. Like, no.
I mean, I never for once felt that he was in any sense of danger or...
I never got the sense that the villains even had a shot that they knew what they were doing. That moment when they come into Richard Hamilton's house and Seagal and Joan Chen are there, there's like 4 guys, and they get just overwhelmed by Seagal immediately.
Yeah, they get wasted almost immediately.
No threat to him whatsoever.
And the people who get away are supposed to get away because they're supposed to go in the next scene, and they're supposed to build up their villain so you want to hate them more, so you want them to die at the end even more. And should we talk about the main villain, Michael Caine?
I mean, we haven't talked about Michael Caine at all, but that's because Michael Caine is barely in this movie. And when he is, it's just strange performance.
He's barely a villain. He plays Michael Jennings, who's the CEO, I think, of Aegis.
Yeah.
There's kind of a funny scene where he's doing a commercial standing behind a deer and talking about how Aegis will save Aegis is good for the environment. We protect blah blah blah. Director says cut. Michael Caine immediately goes into asshole mode. Get me a fucking towel. I touched this deer. Blah blah blah. And did you notice who plays the director? Irving Kershner.
Who is in Angus as well.
Yes, I was going to mention that to you. He plays Grandpa's chess partner.
Yep, it was weird watching this movie and that movie in the same day.
Yeah, and he was better in the other movie, in Angus, with very little dialogue.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I don't know why he was in that movie versus why was he in this movie.
I mean, well, I'm glad he was in Angus because
he's yeah, but in this, like, what was the point? What a weird.
I think they just Steven Seagal never put a better director in your directorial debut because it just goes to show how shitty you are as a director. Because Irving Kershner directed Empire Strikes Back, which a lot of people believe is the better Star Wars film of the trilogy. We're not going to get into a debate about this, Chris. I'm sorry.
Why? Because you don't think it is?
No, I love Empire Strikes Back. I just don't want to get I don't want to get off track too much.
It's Empire Strikes Back. There's no other movie.
Okay. We can go into Clerks and talk about, another Kevin Smith reference. Jesus.
It's Empire Strikes Back. That's it. It's the best
It's a great film.
Movie.
Yeah.
Best Star Wars movie.
I mean, I prefer Attack of the Clones, but,
You're fucking trolling now.
Trolling what? How?
Okay. You know what? And now you're going to try to fucking no-sell it. Not going to happen.
What?
Not
the line about sand? That line about sand? I felt that in my heart.
Yeah, okay.
Did I oversell it?
You did.
Okay, well.
But I'm not going to sell it. And you know who doesn't sell it at all? Michael Caine in this movie is an unnecessary character because you essentially have the squirrely shithead character already.
Yeah, but I think they wanted a name villain, like with a name. And I think this film is just a paycheck film for Michael Caine.
Well, he said as much.
Yeah.
Essentially, I think what Cullen said when we talked about this last year was that Michael Caine said, I would, I'm going to take a movie for a paycheck. I should at least pick somewhere that has good scenery.
Yeah, and this movie has beautiful scenery. Let's admit that.
Yeah, but I don't think he wanted to be in fucking frozen Alaska making a movie. I think
no.
He took the paycheck for Jaws: The Revenge, and he was in the Caribbean. So
yeah, his Jaws: The Revenge. His Jaws: The Revenge quote is one of my favorites of all time. He says something like, I've never seen the film. By all accounts, it's terrible, but I have seen the house that it built, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Caine, that's one thing I respect about Michael Caine, is he will freely admit when he does a movie for a paycheck.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. You want to get you need to pay your bills. I mean, you need to earn some cash. Do a shit film, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if Uwe Boll offered me a few $1,000s to do a couple days work on his film, I'd say, sure, why not? I'm indiscriminate.
But ultimately, our good friend Vern of Seagology fame, and just being a very well-spoken writer, he says that you can't understand Seagal if you haven't seen On Deadly Ground, and he said that as much when we had him on a couple episodes back. Trevor, would you agree with that sentiment now, having seen it?
This is, by all accounts, the Seagalist of Seagal films.
This is a Seagal film to end all Seagal movies.
Yes, this is the epitome of Steven Seagal films. Because if you want to understand Steven Seagal, you're right. You have to see On Deadly Ground. Because that is Seagal at his most Seagal.
Yeah. He's in the director's chair even. Like, it's just everything about this movie screams Steven Seagal.
Yes, it's overblown. It's pretentious. It's sanctimonious. It's
full of its own. It loves the way its own farts smell. Like Steven Seagal again. If you wanted to have a movie where Steven Seagal plays Superman, this is it.
But do you see where I say it's fascinatingly overblown?
It's just fascinating.
It's not
a strange movie.
It is not a boring film to watch. You won't get angry at it. You'll just be fascinated by
even though there's no action, it's not a boring movie because the choices that are made are just so strange.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most ridiculous part was near the end where Seagal is chasing John C. McGinley, and I forgot that woman's name who's like the legal lawyer for Michael Caine or something.
Right. I don't know. I'm not even sure she's given a name, is she?
I don't know. They're running to the helicopter to escape. And Seagal basically just shoots the helicopter and makes it basically unusable.
Yeah.
Seagal and McGinley have a pretty pathetic fight where McGinley just...
What could be called a fight by Steven Seagal, but the rest of us would say it's Steven Seagal manhandling John C. McGinley.
Where it ends up with him just being thrown into the propeller, where you don't see... And the only thing you see of that is blood splattering on the plane.
I mean, it's about as gory as that scene in Raiders, right?
Yeah. And the woman tries to get away by the car, but somehow doesn't fucking see the truck right in front of her and immediately explodes. It's ridiculous.
But great.
It's great. It's ridiculous, but it's great. I'm not going to sit here and say don't see this movie.
No, this of all the Steven Seagal movies, if you're going to watch just one, this might be the one. We kind of haven't talked about him. There's a scene where Billy Bob Thornton just like randomly gets like a kind of funny, weird monologue.
Where he's sitting with his friend. They're both like trying to get a snipe on him.
Yeah, they're trying to guard. They're essentially guarding Aegis 1 from Seagal showing up.
Didn't it sound like Billy Bob was improvising those lines?
To me, every time I watch this movie, and this is like the third or fourth time I've seen it, that scene always stands out to me as just like, did they just say like, all right, we're just gonna shoot the camera, we're just gonna leave the camera on you guys for a moment, and just like say some weird stuff.
And Billy Bob delivers. That sounded like a Billy Bob. It sounds like Billy Bob being himself.
Yeah,
and I love that. Yeah. I did. I'm like, this movie needed more Billy Bob. And I wanted Billy Bob to go out in a better way than he did. He just, I think he just like, there's an explosive on the elevator when Billy Bob tries to shoot them. And he shoots the explosive and they blow each other away. And that's the end of Billy Bob. I love Billy Bob.
This is still pretty early in his career.
Yeah, this was a couple of years before Sling Blade came out.
Yeah, this is 2 years before Sling Blade. So
he was doing the show with John Ritter at the time. So he was more known as a character actor. But yeah, he's given little to do, but what he does
stands out. That's for sure.
It does. Of all the no-name henchmen in the film, he's the one that stands out. Even if we didn't know who Billy Bob Thornton was,
right,
it would still stand out because at least he does something.
Yeah, even if his career had gone nowhere, you'd still be like, "Oh, that was kind of a weird thing."
That was a funny henchman.
Yeah, it's a weird movie because you essentially have Seagal getting excommunicated by the Aegis Oil Company.
Yeah.
Then he goes on his vision quest, and then he goes to the oil rig, and that's it.
That vision quest scene was just so stupid.
It's just very base level, surface bullshit interpretations of serious things that people actually believe in being bastardized by people who don't know anything about it. Which is fine. It's not the first or the last thing, you know.
They basically just put Vaseline on the lens, have a Native American kind of do a chant, and have Seagal come out of the water like a baptism, basically.
X-Files did something very similar in their second season. Like, it just is kind of not something that has particularly aged well.
No, it hasn't.
But like, so what? Like,
yeah, it's a movie that's kind of just it's there. It doesn't add up to much, to be honest with you. And the message comes off as, you know, disingenuous because he ends up blowing up the fucking rig, like I said. So it kind of,
but that was always going to be the way the movie was going to end. The bigger issue is Steven Seagal now seemingly doesn't believe in any of this stuff. So why did he go out of his way to make this movie to begin with, right?
I don't know. He was trying to hit on a topic that was hot at the time.
It's so oddly specific to pick this as your directorial debut. And you know he thought that this was going to be like the greatest movie ever made about the topic. Like, they spent $50 million on this movie, man. That's a lot of money.
I mean, this movie is the only reason that Under Siege 2 exists.
Is it?
They wanted him to do Under Siege 2, and his condition was that they let him direct his own film. That film was On Deadly Ground. This movie made Under Siege 2 happen. Sorry. This movie made Under Siege 2 happen.
Given that one of my close friends is Richard, I can't say I'm thoroughly upset about that, given that without Under Siege 2, I'm not friends with Richard, because I probably would never have met him. It's a strange movie that's a little long in the tooth, because it's 2.5 hours.
And it's very dishonest.
Well, what I can't tell is, did Steven Seagal not want there to be action, or was there just no action in this movie? Because this movie could have been beefed up with the action. It's just very weird. There's like one good action scene in this movie in Richard Hamilton's cabin. That's it. If you could even call that an action scene. I
mean, I assume you may be able to consider the action at the rig.
Yeah, I guess. That's just Steven Seagal shooting guns, though. Like,
the movie doesn't require him to do much physical.
No.
He's more shooting guns than anything else.
In a lot of ways, it's very similar to some of the stuff we're seeing now with Seagal.
Yeah. This is the most notable in his personality. You can tell that it is his. This is him being what he wants his public perception of him to be.
I think so.
Which is why I say it's dishonest. Because Steven Seagal, I don't think, believes a centimeter of what's being said on the film.
I don't know. Again, it's just very strange that there's this whole diatribe at the end about pollution and stuff. And
we need to talk about that. That's going to be really. And he goes, this speech needs to be seen to be believed.
It's very rambling, all over the place, unfocused. You know, just typical buzzword bullshit about the environment. You know, we have to take care of the environment, and we're destroying, the biggest threat to the environment's, health is us. And it's like, God, dude, like, every buzzword in the playbook, you're just throwing it at us. Come on.
He's mentioning there's like fucking carburetors that can have your car get 100 miles to the gallon, but the big oil is repressing all this information, and those who speak out about it are considered conspiracy theorists and crazy. It goes off on it's something you would probably hear on InfoWars. Like, Alex Jones would watch this movie and just jerk off to it.
I don't know. I mean, there probably is something to the idea of the big oil.
Yeah, but who killed
the electric car is a real thing. Like,
I know that, but one good point in a whole big scene of rambling nonsense, just it dilutes the good point by saying a bunch of bullshit points.
I mean, I don't know. I would have to go back and fact check every piece of his message, but I don't remember anything particularly inflammatory. My issue with this movie is just, it's such an odd choice, because there's, at the end of Commando, you don't have Arnold Schwarzenegger, bemoaning the oil usage habits of the audience. It's just it's very preachy, and just, it doesn't work in an action movie. This would be something environmentally conscious film. Environmentally conscious action films are not a subgenre.
It's not a subgenre that has worked, because when you go in environmental if you're the action star and you're blowing shit up and, destroying things, that kind of negates the whole thing about environmentalism, especially if you're doing an outdoors action scene.
Right.
And like I mentioned, especially if you're blowing up a fucking oil rig, letting in toxins into the air, your message is diminished. Your message is diluted.
Yeah, I would agree.
Again, they tried to make
choice.
environmental action into a subgenre. I think they tried to do that with that movie with the football player.
They technically did it with another Steven Seagal movie with
Fire Down Below.
Fire Down Below, yeah.
They tried to do it with Howie Long in this. He plays a guy who puts out forest fires, like one of those rangers, fireman kind of guy.
Sure.
I forgot the name of the film, but it's got William Forsythe in it. Hold on, I'll look it up. Or are you looking it up too?
I'm looking.
I think it's called Fire something.
Firestorm?
Firestorm, that's it. They tried it again. It was a movie trying to be like environmentally conscious, but it just doesn't work when you're destroying the environment that you're in.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, I also don't need this kind of message in my movie. Like, I don't think anyone who went to see this movie was, by the end of it, they were like,
no.
Man, I really was here for this environmental message.
People,
cornball.
If you're going to have someone send a message of environmental impact, your messenger should not be Steven Seagal.
I wouldn't think so.
Because he's not someone America took very seriously when it came to like important social environmental issues. They more thought of him as just a kung fu karate action star. They didn't think of him as some environmental advocate.
No, and I still don't think of him as that, and I don't think anybody does right now either.
Never did. And like I said, when you're trying to send that message, it hurts the message when you basically fuck up the environment for the entire film. So doing that didn't help your attempt.
I think overall, though, I think I enjoyed this more than most of the new stuff of his we've watched.
It's enjoyable in a way it's hard to describe. It's enjoyable in the self-righteousness. It's enjoyable in the study of a man's psyche and his ego. It's enjoyable on that level. As a action film, it's merely mediocre. This is difficult, man. It really is, because
it's just you need to watch it. Like this is a Steven Seagal movie that like it's so weird that it deserves. I mean, Vern clearly thinks so. He thinks that this is the film that you watch to get a better sense of who Seagal is. I would agree. I think that this is the movie that kind of defines Steven Seagal in a lot of ways. And I think if you're a fan of Steven Seagal, or if you're curious about Steven Seagal, if you watch this movie and you want to continue past this movie, then I think you've got a pretty firm starting place to go with Steven Seagal, because this is just kind of the most Seagal movie he's ever made.
But do you see where I'm coming from in saying it's objectively a bad film, but
objectively it is a bad movie.
But I still recommend people see it for the...
It's just a weird movie. It needs to be seen.
It does need to be seen.
So let me put it this way. There's nothing else like it, so you can't watch something else to come close.
I can safely say that I've never seen anything like this film.
Yeah, and that, in my mind, is a film worth watching. If I can't even point to things that are similar... I mean, again, we could talk about, like, eco-thrillers, but, like, that wouldn't be really getting to what this is. This is its own weird thing.
This is in a class of its own.
Yeah, definitely. This is its own weird thing. It is very much not a film that I think the people who were seeing this film in '94 expected they were going to get.
No.
The trailers don't lead on as much. The trailers make this look like a very stock and trade, boilerplate, Under Siege style action film. I mean, just compare the amount of action in this film to Under Siege, or even Under Siege 2. It's just, there's very little that happens in this movie in the way of traditional action. That's kind of what makes it interesting and a failure at the same time.
This is Seagal trying to be dramatic, because there is no levity in this film.
Have his cake and eat it too.
There's no levity in this film whatsoever. None. At least in his other films, there's some levity and some kind of funny stuff, but in this film he's trying to be dead serious, and it fails.
Very straight.
It's a failure that is fascinating to watch, and I really do think people should see it. I do.
I agree.
Yeah. So
it's not a good movie in any stretch of the imagination because it is
No.
too strange to be a good movie, but it is successful in being absolutely one of the strangest action movies you could see because, boy, it does everything in its power to ignore pre-established action conventions that have been followed for years, decades before this movie came out.
You will watch this film and be gobsmacked.
It's just such a strange studio film to be made for $60 million. It's just such a bizarre big budget movie. Because at the time, this is a big budget movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is in 94, and
$60 million is a lot of money. $50 million, I mean, it's a lot of money to give somebody.
I mean, in today's Hollywood, that budget seems quaint, but in 94, that was big budget.
I mean, something like Jurassic Park was probably $200 million.
Let me double check.
Jurassic Park had a budget the year before. To give you an idea, Jurassic Park only cost $13 million more than this movie.
Wow. And there's no dinosaurs in this film. What a rip.
Yeah. This movie is...
I guess you could say the only dinosaur was Michael Caine. Oh!
And Jurassic Park made $1 billion.
Yeah.
This movie made $38 million.
Yeah. This movie didn't even... Jurassic Park was Jurassic Park, $63 million to make. Broke the box office. This film, around $60 million, didn't make a heart of a dent. I don't even think it made half its budget back, did it?
No.
So, I mean, people just weren't interested. They took a gamble and they lost. But I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad it was made. I'm glad I got to experience Seagal being the most Seagal he'll ever be in a film, unless they make a documentary about him, which I, for one, would finance if I had the money. But yeah, it's basically the closest to a Seagal documentary you'll find because it's definitely one of the most insightful peeks into his mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
I think we're both ponytail on this one.
Ponytail on, definitely. Yeah, so...
To close out this episode, I want to play in its entirety the 3-minute and 42-second diatribe from Steven Seagal to lead us out of this episode so that everyone can get a good listen as to what we were talking about. And when we come back from that, we'll talk about the next episode of On Seagal. That's right. On the next episode of the On Seagal podcast, we're going to be talking about Contract to Kill.
AKA Contract Killer.
Is that what the other name for it is?
That's what it says on IMDb.
Oh, dear God. Well, Contract to Kill is another Keone Waxman film starring Steven Seagal with a goatee. So, yeah, who knows? It could be fun.
I think it will be.
Probably. Well, who knows? I'm going into it with an open mind because, you know what? That's the only way to go into these kinds of things.
You know what? What I've learned from this podcast is always going with an open mind because you might be pleasantly surprised.
Exactly.
Like I was with Cartels.
Yeah. No harm in going into it with an open mind.
Absolutely. I think it's terrible to assume every recent Seagal film is going to be terrible because it's straight to video.
I agree.
Yeah. There are some gems in there, which we've seen. So
until then, Trevor, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Bad Vertigo, Instagram at Mad Vertigo. You can find me usually at home eating my feelings, but, that's the usual. What about you, Chris? Where can people find you?
You can find me on the internet at cstachiw@gmail.com. Or excuse me, cstachiw.com, not at gmail. That is my link tree, and that's where you can go to find me. And that's where all the stuff that I work on is. So Kulturecast, scary stories, all that good stuff. As for this show, onseagal.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter. That's where you can go to find this show. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.